Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Ivani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Monday, November 25th. We begin this holiday trading week following a green day on Wall Street to end last week. On Friday, all three major indices closed higher. The Dow jumped 426 points, or nearly 1%. The S&P 500 added 20 points, or 0.35%. The NASDAQ picked up 31 points, or 0.16%. A reminder that markets are closed on Thursday for the Thanksgiving holiday, and there will be a shortened trading day on Friday. But Bill, let's get into today's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes, good morning, Emily. Hey, I'm seeing a lot of green on the screen. We're up 0.52% in the pre-market. It shows you we're going to have a positive move this morning. One of the key events that happened over the weekend was President-elect Trump nominated hedge fund manager Scott Bessent as his Treasury Secretary. He's going to be looking to grow the economy out of debt. He's going to look to spur bank lending. He's okay. He's a fine pick. He has qualifications. He's a Yale guy, so he has a lot of connections that really helped him build his hedge fund. Returns were nothing spectacular at the hedge fund, but he had a lot of connections, able to open up a large fund and run it for a couple of years. He did work for Soros, so that's positive. But the week ahead, we got multiple key economic reports due out, including the Fed meeting minutes, which are coming out tomorrow. We got the PCE report, the inflationary report. That's going to be, really looked on, and that's going to be, creating some volatility in the market. And then there are earnings. We got earnings coming out from Zoom, LG, and Dell, Best Buy, CrowdStrike, Autodesk, and retailers such as Dick's Sporting Goods, Macy's, and others. This morning, we're seeing Summit Materials stocks trading higher as it's being due to takeover talk. It looks like they're being taken over for $52.50 a share. We're taking a look over at Europe this morning. We've shown the DAX. The DAX is trading higher. The DAX is actually up 0.34% this morning, whereas in the FTSE's up 0.32%. The CAC is just flat to higher, up 0.07%. What's going on in Europe? The big news is, the auto stocks. We're seeing some gains in auto stocks this morning. The EU and China are said to be close to reaching an agreement to remove tariffs on Chinese electrical vehicle imports. That's positive for those auto stocks. London, we're seeing some gains in pharma and mining stocks, and in France, luxury stocks are trading higher. That's positive. We're looking last night into Asia. Asia saw some mixed action. We did see the Nikkei jump 496 points. That's 1.30% with gains in chemical and tech stocks. Hong Kong fell. Hong Kong fell 79 points, or 0.41%. And the Shanghai fell, a little over 0.1%. What can I say about the PBOC left rates unchanged without offering any additional stimulus measures? And the markets are a little bit worried because, the Biden administration is said to be preparing a new round of export restrictions for companies looking to, sell goods to China. So that's kind of causing some nervousness in the Asian markets overnight. Now we're keep turning our attention over to oil. Oil is flat to lower this morning. The big thing is, there's some talk about the Middle East, that peace accord between Hamas and Israel, which could, lower some of the tensions over there. But oil isn't really moving much. It's flat to lower this morning. But that's what I have for you in terms of morning market update report, Emily.
And Bill, plenty to be watching on this holiday week, as we can hear from your opening. And one of those areas you pointed out was earnings action. So Bill, give us a rundown of what we should be watching when it comes to earnings.
Well, BBWI, Boy William India, that's Bed Bath Body Works. They released earnings this morning. They beat by 2 cents. They did it on higher revenue. You look at the stock this morning, it's up 12.99%. So that's positive. Good move there. After the bell today, we got Zoom Video Communications. Their EPS is $1.31. Expected move is 10.91%. Agilent Technologies, their EPS is $1.41. Expected move is 8.55% when they release. And then you got a host of companies coming out tomorrow morning. But that's what I have for you in terms of an earnings update, Emily.
Bill, watching all of that, using your newsware, catching those earnings, following along with them with an earnings alert. Speaking of alerts, you also have one for economic events. It is a big week starting out slow here on Monday, but you did mention those Fed meeting minutes. So give us a look at everything we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
Yeah, for today at 8:30 a.m. we got the Chicago Fed National Activity Index, and at 10:30 you get the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Minor reports, but tomorrow you get the Fed meeting minutes. Wednesday, is a host of reports, including jobless claims, durable goods orders, the second estimate of third quarter GDP, and the PCE. They're all coming out tomorrow. So markets are going to be moving off of seeing some volatility when these reports come out. But that's what I have for you in terms of an economic update, Emily.
And Bill, again, you're using your newsware to follow all of that data and information, and you're still watching other types of news along with earnings and economic events. You're looking at things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings. You're looking at stocks grouped together like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Well, let's just take a quick data check here. I'm looking at my Dow stocks. I got 26 higher, 4 lower. I'm looking at my FANG stocks. They're all showing gains of at least 0.5%, essentially. So, yeah, we're seeing some positive action. You're looking at some of the news behind it, like Apple is said to be postponing some of its iOS 19 features to the spring of 2026, but the iPhone sales look to be pretty good as people seem to be upgrading. Amazon, ticker AMZN, they're going to be doubling their investment into Anthropic to $8 billion. Google's, and Meta's a little concerning because Meta's Thread said to be losing ground to Blue Sky, which is another Twitter type service. Moving over to Dow Jones 30 stocks, we got, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. Bank stocks are moving higher as the incoming Treasury Secretary looks to increase loan activity. Microsoft government is said to be looking into that recent hacking incident. That's been attributed to Chinese hackers that Microsoft brought to everyone's attention in September. NVIDIA, Intel may see money granted under the CHIPS Act reduced to less than $8 billion from the $8.5 billion announced earlier. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get the big allocation they were hoping for. In terms of merger news, Quikrete Holdings, they struck a deal for $9.2 billion deal to acquire Summit Materials. That's the ticker SUM, Sam Uncle Mary. That brings together two of the biggest makers of building materials in the U.S. In terms of guidance news, BBWI, Bed Bath Works, they raised their full year 2024 adjusted EPS view to $3.15 to $3.28. Street estimate has it at $3.20, so that's positive. That's right in the middle. In terms of shareholders meetings, PAR Technologies, ticker PAR, Paul Apple Richard, they're holding an investor day today at 1 p.m. And that's what I have for you about news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that Newsware delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what do you have for us to start this week?
Ticker A is an Apple, Agilent. Earnings are out after the bell. EPS is $1.41. Expected move is 8.55%. You're looking at Friday's call volume, 2,054 calls versus 789 puts, 789 puts. Wow, that's a big differential. Open interest, 11,880 versus put open interest of 9,991. That's still positive. Brokers are raising price targets. That's good to see. And the stock did weaken after that RFK news, but it's about earnings today, and I think if I can get in 134 to 134 and a half, somewhere in that range, I think that will be a good entry price if it hits that low. But that's my stock of the day. Ticker A is an Apple, LG, and expect to move at least 1% today.
Algin, it is today. We will follow that along with you on this Monday. And coming up, we'll take a look back on Friday and that pick of the day when we do a recap on that. So stick with us. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
Okay, let's see what we have here this morning. MSTR, Michael Sam, Tom Richard, MicroStrategy announced that they acquired 55,500 Bitcoins for about $5.4 billion. between from November 18th through 24th. Amazon AWS announces Quantum Embark program. Ooh, Macy's down 3% after delaying Q3 report due to accounting issues. Oh, whenever they do delay a report, that's not good. Ticker BUD, Boy Uncle David. InBev extends 40-year partnership with FIFA. It's a good partnership. Hong Kong is said to be becoming a hub for computer hacking in Asia. U.S. Department of Justice will make its final arguments that Google, final argument that Google illegally dominated the online advertising market, seeking a second antitrust win against the company. I'm not putting too much faith in that, in the government's case there. Airbnb, ticker ABNB, Swiss voters nearly rejected a change in the law giving landlords more power to restrict subletting by tenants. Apple, India's antitrust body, has turned down a request from the company to put on hold an investigation which found the company breached competition laws. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we sign off and dive into trading on this holiday week, let's do that check-in on Friday's pick of the day, which was Tapestry. You did make this pick following their accelerated buyback announcement. You were hoping that the market would open weaker. You would grab this one. There'd be some momentum. If listeners recall on Friday, when it comes to retail, they're also seeing some momentum in Gap after reports of a Q3 beat. That was amongst other retailers like Walmart and TJ Maxx that also reported quarterly sales gains that past week. And, I have to say, I have to mention Black Friday is coming up on this Friday, and, shoppers are continuing to pull back on discretionary purchases like clothing and shoes, but spending on other essentials like food. So really watching retailers this week to see how Black Friday comes in. But you were trading Tapestry on Friday. Bill, how did your call work out?
Worked out well. I mean, look at the numbers. Stock opened up at 58.03, then fell down to 57.84. I expected the weakness. I was expecting, 57.60, but okay, it went down to 57.84 before, turning into rallying mode. And when it did hit rally mode, it ran all the way up to 59.69 and closed out at 58.92. You look at the stock this morning in the pre-market, it's 59.31. Anyway, you slice it. That's a 1%. That beats a 1% gain. So Tapestry, TPR, Tom Paul Richard was a winner on Friday, Emily.
Bill, getting your Black Friday deal early with Tapestry, a win there, and we will check in with you tomorrow about today's Agilent pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow with NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.